Hey guys, just a quick disclaimer, this video is actually a two-parter. The first part is over on DarknesstheCurse's channel. I couldn't have gotten this review done without him, and the first part is over on his channel, so I'll be leaving a link to that channel into the description below. But otherwise, if you've seen the first part, then I hope you enjoy this part, and go sub to DarknesstheCurse. See you later. Nearly every item in the game world can be picked up and used to beat, slash, bludgeon, and disembowel zombies. But then you can also put weapons together and create even more powerful combo weapons. Putting a fire axe on the end of a sledgehammer to create a giant battle axe? Sign me up. There's so many of these throughout the game, and you can get them through finding the blueprints hidden throughout the world, rescuing survivors, and progressing further in the main story. The game even has the convenient feature of allowing you to equip any weapon you've picked up in the game from weapon lockers, as well as giving you all the clothing you've obtained from clothing lockers. Now, while some people might consider this making the game too easy, aka whiners, the game has a cooldown on how many items you can take from lockers at any one time, and even then, if you need a specific weapon for a side quest, you don't have to run all over the world looking for that one specific item, as long as you picked it up beforehand. Even then, if the game is too easy for you, there's always the Nightmare mode to play on, which increases the damage of enemies, makes the weapon locker cost more resources, and makes the time go by super fast on side quests, making you ration the time you have, and it also means you have to save at the restrooms in the game rather than at any time, which you can normally do in the normal mode. Even without the difficulty issues, Dead Rising 3 is just a fun game in general, but like all games, it does have its problems. Like I said, the characters can be a bit one-note at times, and the story is okay without being awesome, but I think Dead Rising 3's biggest problem is the tone the game presents to you versus the tone that you can make yourself. Let me try to explain. The best way I can put it is that Dead Rising 3 has a lot of tonal inconsistencies that are not exactly optional, but more so that they're just there. You know what I mean? You have ridiculous clothes to dress up in, and some of the boss battles, despite having the whole appeal of being based off of the 7 Deadly Sins, get really ridiculous and crazy, and none of the side quests really have that same emotion you get from the other Dead Rising games. The story presents itself as something really dark, but it's also a game where you can go down the streets in a Michael Jackson outfit, shooting a dildo launcher. Actually, now that I think about that, that does sound kind of friggin' dark. Regardless, the tone requires you to basically play a certain way to not get your immersion broken, and if you're someone like me who just prefers to go crazy in Dead Rising or any sandbox game like this, it just becomes a case of having to ignore the whole story to have fun, and I'm just of the opinion that ignoring a good chunk of the game is not what they were going for. It just makes me wish that the story had just a tiny bit more comedy to match all the ridiculousness in the gameplay. Other than that, I love Dead Rising 3, and it's still surprisingly my favorite game in the franchise. It may not have some of the charm of the original games, but the improvements and the quality of life changes just make the game so much more enjoyable than the admittedly clunky 2 first games. The hundreds of weapons at your availability, giving such a variety with the gameplay, create not only my favorite game in the zombie genre, but also one of my favorite games of all time in general. If you haven't given this game a try, I would highly recommend trying it out. There's even 2-player co-op, which I would say makes the game even more fun, as long as it's with someone you know. Don't play with people you don't know. That makes it a friggin' nightmare. Taking a trip to California has never felt this dangerous, yet exciting before. Whew. Glad I got that taken care of. And thanks to all the new people for coming out to my channel. I really do appreciate it.
Oh. I have no idea where I've been. Does that happen to anybody else? Well, anyway, I'm back. Alright, Teddy, we can start the review.
I, already finished it.
What?
You had some kind of episode, and then there was this darker version of you, and you vanished.
You did it without me? Of course, you would do it without me, because you're just a stupid bear, and who doesn't even know any better.
I'm what now?
Listen, I know what's really going on around here, alright? My reality is the only real one, and no one else can tell me otherwise. Something is happening in this universe, and it's not just me, alright? Alright? Everyone else is a figment of my imagination, I'm sure of it. You, everyone, freaking bear, you won't even stand still long enough for me to get a review done. How dare you? How dare you? Bear!
Anyway, this has been Mr. Mix Media, and as always, I will see all of you ladies and gentlemen in the next video. Bye-bye!